The neurologist went into the cinema at midnight and he shot 70 people. 12 of them died. He told the police he was the Joker. James Egan Holmes didn't fit the profile of a typical drifter. He was a 24-year-old PhD student in neuroscience, a man who understood the inner workings of the human brain better than most. Yet his own mind had fractured into a landscape of shared delusions and meticulous homicidal planning. He had spent months assuming an arsenal, over 6,000 rounds of ammunition, a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 rifle, a Remington shotgun and 2 Glock pistols. Midnight the 20th of July 2012. Inside Theatre 9 of the Century 16 multiplex in Aurora, Colorado, hundreds of people sat in the flickering glow of the screen. They were there for a premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. It was a night of escapism, costumes and excitement. But while the audience watched a fictional villain on screen, a real one was standing just behind the emergency exit door. 20 minutes into the film, Holmes stepped through the rear exit he had previously propped open. He was a silhouette of tactical gear. He wore a gas mask, a ballistic helmet, throat guards and leggings designed to withstand shrapnel. To the audience, he looked like a promotional stunt gone wrong, until he tossed 2 canisters of gas into the crowd. The canisters hissed, filling the air with a thick, stinging haze. Then came the sound that would haunt the survivors forever, the rhythmic, mechanical thud, thud, thud of a shotgun. The Massacre was an exercise in cold, calculated efficiency. Holmes began at the front, firing into the rows of seats. The Remington 870 come first, tearing through those closest to him. When that run dry, he switched to his semi-automatic rifle, equipped with a 100-round drum magazine. The cinema became a tomb of screaming metal and muffled cries. Bullets didn't just hit targets, they tore through the thin drywall of the theatre, striking people in the adjacent cinema 8. Inside Theatre 9, the floor became slick with blood and spilled popcorn. People dove under seats, shielding loved ones with their own bodies. 6-year-old Veronica Moser Sullivan, the youngest victim, was struck 4 times. The ballistic trauma was catastrophic. Holmes moved with a robotic detachment. Witnesses described him as calm, unhurried, as if he were performing a lab experiment. Even when his high-capacity rifle jammed, he simply transitioned to a handgun and continued the execution. In just less than 7 minutes, 70 people were shot. 12 of them died where they sat or fell. When police arrived, they found Holmes standing by his car in the parking lot, surrendered and eerily compliant. He told the officers he was the Joker. But the horror wasn't confined to the cinema. Back at his apartment, Holmes had rigged a deadly maze of 30 homemade grenades and containers of gasoline, wired to explode the moment anyone stepped through his front door. It was designed to kill first responders while he was busy at the cinema, a final spiteful strike against a world he felt had rejected him. James Holmes was eventually sentenced to 12 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. He remains a cipher, a man who studied the brain only to use that knowledge to dismantle the lives of others in the dark.